Hello, Falcons fans. Today we have some exciting news about our team that you don't want to miss. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and be the first to get all the latest Falcons updates. Oh, and don't forget to smash that like button to show the power of our fan base. Now let's jump into today's big story. A surprising Falcons pick in the latest PFF mock draft. Falcons target explosive WR in 2025 draft. The Atlanta Falcons might shake things up in the 2025 NFL draft by selecting Missouri wide receiver Luther Burton III in the first round. Now you might be thinking, do we really need another receiver? After all, the Falcons already have a strong wide receiver duo in Drake London and Darnell Mooney. But it seems the team is still looking for more firepower on offense. Over the last few years, Falcons GM Terry Fontenot has focused on adding offensive talent in the first round. Here's a quick look at recent picks. 2021, T.E. Kyle Pitts. 2022, W.R. Drake London. 2023, R.B. Bijan Robinson. 2024, QB Michael Penix Jr. Going into the 2025 season, the Falcons need to strengthen their pass rush, which struggled last season with just 31 sacks, one of the worst in the league. So, many expected them to pick a top defensive player in the draft. But according to Pro Football Focus's latest mock draft, the Falcons skipped over key defenders like L.B. Jalen Walker, Georgia, D.L. Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M, Edge, Mike Green, Marshall. Instead, they grabbed Luther Burton III at number 15 overall. With Michael Penix Jr. set to take over as the starting QB in 2025, adding another dynamic receiver could be a smart move. PFF describes Burton as a natural playmaker who thrives in the slot and is dangerous with the ball in his hands. Could this pick give the Falcons one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL? Or should they focus on fixing their defense instead? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Is Luther Burton III the right pick for Atlanta? Luther Burton III isn't just another receiver. He's a dynamic playmaker who can turn short passes into big gains. He ranks in the 87th percentile in yards after catch, YAC, proving how dangerous he is in the open field. In PFF's latest mock draft, Burton was the third receiver selected, following Colorado star Travis Hunter and Arizona standout Tetara McMillan. At 5'11" and 208 cms, Burton is known for his explosiveness and game-breaking ability. His 2024 stats speak for themselves. 61 receptions for 676 yards and 6 touchdowns, 9 carries for 115 rushing yards, and 2 more scores. Is Burton a luxury pick for the Falcons? As talented as Burton is, does Atlanta really need him? The Falcons already have a strong receiving core. Ray McCloud III has impressed offensive coordinator Zach Robinson, shining in both the running and passing game. Last season, he set career highs with 87 targets, 62 receptions, 686 yards, 2 touchdowns. Drake London and Darnell Mooney also remain under contract, meaning Atlanta's top 3 receivers aren't going anywhere, at least for now. Meanwhile, the Falcons still have major needs on defense, making Burton a tough pick to justify on draft night. Could a trade for Miles Garrett be the answer? Instead of adding another receiver, should the Falcons make a blockbuster trade to fix their defense? 2 of Atlanta's biggest offseason priorities are 1. Upgrading the pass rush, 2. Moving on from Kirk Cousins, that's where Miles Garrett comes in. The reigning Defensive Player of the Year has reportedly requested a trade, sparking huge interest across the league. While the Cleveland Browns insist they won't move him, we all know that when a superstar wants out, things can change fast. Could the Falcons pull off a game-changing move for Garrett, or should they focus on building through the draft? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What would a Miles Garrett trade look like for the Falcons? Superstars in the NFL usually get what they want, and if Miles Garrett truly wants out of Cleveland, a trade could happen. But what would a deal between the Browns and Falcons actually look like? Forget Kirk Cousins. The Browns aren't interested. Let's clear this up right away. Cleveland has zero interest in taking on Kirk Cousins and his contract. They're already stuck with one of the worst QB deals in the league, Deshaun Watson's massive contract, while he recovers from an Achilles injury. There's no way they'd add Cousins' $26 million cap hit for 2025 on top of that. Instead, the Browns need cheap rookie contracts to fill out their roster if they move Garrett. What would the trade cost the Falcons? According to Diana Rini of The Athletic, if the Browns trade Garrett, they won't demand 3 first-round picks. Instead, the asking price would be something like Browns receive 2025 first-round pick, 2025 second-round pick, 2026 first-round pick. Falcons receive Miles Garrett. That's a big price tag, but the key question is, would the Falcons have to include key young stars like Bijan Robinson or Drake London? If the Browns insist on getting one of Atlanta's best young players, that could make things even tougher. Is Garrett worth the risk for Atlanta? Some might argue that Atlanta isn't just one player away from a Super Bowl run. The team still lacks depth and needs to keep its draft picks to build a stronger roster. But here's the thing, first-round picks are never a sure thing. Historically, the success rate for first-rounders is about 50-50, and it drops even more for picks on day 2 of the draft. Meanwhile, Miles Garrett is not a 50-50 player. He is a 100% proven superstar, one of the most dominant pass rushers in the NFL. So, should the Falcons risk multiple picks for a guaranteed game changer, or should they hold on to their draft capital and build for the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Miles Garrett would be a game changer for the Falcons. The Falcons haven't had a defensive superstar like Miles Garrett since Deion Sanders. He's the type of player who elevates everyone around him and instantly makes a defense better. Yes, trading for Garrett would mean Atlanta loses its first and second round picks in 2025. But in return, they'd be getting a true game changer at their biggest position of need, a dominant pass rusher. Falcons can still build a strong roster. Even without those high draft picks, GM Terry Fontenot has a proven track record of finding talent in free agency. With smart contract moves, restructuring some deals, and extending key players, the Falcons could create enough cap space to make a serious playoff push. And here's the key, Michael Penix Jr. is still on his rookie contract. This gives Atlanta a rare opportunity to build a strong roster before they have to pay him big money. Even with Kirk Cousins' contract still on the books, the Falcons could go all in and add more impact players around Garrett. So should Atlanta take the risk and trade for Garrett, or should they hold on to their draft picks and build through the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments.